ho, ho, Merry Christmas. Football Claus is here, baby. We're ready to go. I'm jacked up for the show. We got Coach Drew Daly in the house. Make sure you give him a follow at Twitter. His stuff scrolling across the bottom. Slick is back in the house tonight, man. We're so happy to have you. Connectivity issues last week. Trust me, I understand. If anybody on the show understands connectivity issues, man. I get it, man. Slick, man, what's going on? Everything good with you, bro?
Yeah, I can't complain. Like I said, like I was telling you earlier, just ready for the holidays, honestly. Work's been cool. Still trying to figure out this whole coaching situation at my school, what I'm going to do. Got a couple options, got a couple ideas. But for the most part, I'm just ready for this break where I can just hit the reset button, relax, and, get back right to bring the new year in for 2023.
Absolutely, man. Drew, you probably were moving faster than you ever did in your football career to try to make this show. I know that you did.
Listen, let me tell you what happened to me tonight. First of all, haven't seen my wife. I'm sure she's upstairs. So if you're listening or watching, hey babe, love you. Appreciate you letting me do all the crazy shit that I do, because I literally 30 seconds before we took the air walked through my front door, threw a double cheeseburger down my gullet. And hopped on here to do the podcast. Work ran a little late. All right, I had to work. Let me tell you. Let's go back to when I made my announcing debut at the football game. You guys might remember a couple months ago. Now I've assumed all announcing roles for all sports at the high school. So we had our first home wrestling match tonight. So I had to call the match. The match got started a little late. 17 JV matches before the varsity match. 17 JV matches before the varsity matches even start. I'm looking at my clock. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to make it. I said, listen, the Blitz Nation needs it. It needs me. I can't miss it.
That's right.
I told my boss, I said, boss, listen, I'm out of here, pal. Granted, it was over and everybody else was out of here and everybody was ready to leave. But I said, I'm out of here, pal. I got a show to do. And by God, I made it.
You made it.
So Drew is now officially a personality. Is it safe to say he's now officially a personality?
Personality was at Cherry Hill High.
People are picking up on it. People said, aren't you the guy? I said, yeah, I'm the guy. They didn't specify what from, but yeah, I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that's me. So no, it was a good night. Great week of football. Pretty awesome games. Saturday, Sunday, Thursday. I can't wait to talk about Thursday because I'm gonna go in. I guess everybody's entitled to their little hiccups or whatever, but your boys struggle to get past the struggling Seahawks.
Saturday, the entire game. Okay, I can't wait to talk about it.
Go ahead and win by 7 points against the Seahawks. But anyway, and Saturday was an awesome game. We witnessed literally history, historical NFL games we'll talk about. And Sunday, man, Sunday did not disappoint. So we got a great show. I know it's the holiday. It's technically our holiday show, but I don't got nothing crazy going on, but
you got a tree in the background. Like you're more festive than
Well, that was for Proffit and Mrs. Proffit. I had to hurry up and get that put up and decorated real quick. Tony Tree Tums, he's got a tree farm down the Tree Tums has got a tree farm. couple miles up the road, so we visited it. I got a tree real quick.
Tree Tums trees. Yeah, man, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about, man. What a crazy week of football it was. But before we even get going into that, we know that playoffs is right around the corner. You know what that means.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
My bad.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I thought we've been doing it all. We've been doing it the last 3 weeks. So I figured we were just rolling with it.
It's here.
That will always be a classic.
Always
him and Dennis Green. When the Bears beat the Cardinals, the defense ready.
Yeah. Oh, he was mad. He was mad.
Dude, one of my favorite. If we're going to talk about classic coaching tirades or whatever, dude, it's got to be Mike Gundy where he says, "You want to come at somebody? Come at me."
I'm a man. I'm 40.
40. These are
Oklahoma
kids, they
State.
can't take it.
Oklahoma State with the mullet.
Great, dude.
Bro.
Man, that was so much fun. Oh, that was
Hey,
great.
Mike Singletary's got a classic in there. Can't win with him. Can't
said-
play him. Can't
Oh,
do
we
it.
were talking about Davis.
We were talking about Vernon Davis.
Yeah.
Can't win with
Can't
him.
win
Can't
with
do it. Can't have it. Like, bro, that guy was
You
something
make
else.
me want to puke. That's it.
Ditka had a good one too. Here's your IQ, buddy. 0.
That's
He
so
was something
funny,
else,
dude.
man.
I didn't know we were
Well,
going
hey,
to
let's
talk about classic
our winners.
tirades,
Yeah, let's,
but here we are.
oh yeah, here we go. Let's talk about our winners and losers. Week 15. We'll start off with a winner. Drew, you named it. We had a whole bunch of stuff. We had the greatest comeback in NFL history, also the greatest collapse in NFL history happen. There's a lot of tight games in these games that I didn't think they were going to be tight. The Kansas City Chiefs were struggling with the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Cowboys. Like the Jaguars end up beating the Cowboys, so that was crazy. Who's your winner of Week 15, man? Because this season it has never ceased to disappoint any point this season.
You know, and we didn't talk about, like I said, I just hopped on here. So I don't know who you guys are going with, but I got a few winners of this week. And I'll just go, I don't know, like, I'm going to say the Jaguars. I'm sorry if I took any of your guys' winners, but I thought the way Jaguars have been playing, the way they played on Sunday, that game was fun to watch. First of all, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Dallas is a good team. I don't give a crap what anybody says, and not for nothing, the Jaguars are a good team. Doug Peterson has done things in that program quicker, I think, than most people anticipated. They got playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. They're playing pretty good defense. If they get in, man, they're one of those sneaky teams that you might not want to see in the first round. All right. They could, Trevor Lawrence, how long, all season we were talking about the Jags could be this, they could be that. And I was critical of Trevor Lawrence. I said, dude, this guy's just not getting it done. He's out there. He's throwing 1 touchdown a game. He's going 12 of 23. It's just not good enough. And he's turned that corner. He went out there, I think, it is starting to slow down for him. And I've never been big on those. I've never been high on those quarterbacks that are 6'7". I just the tall, lanky guys, for whatever reason, I just feel like they don't transition well to the NFL game for whatever reason. They got a long delivery. They take hits to the unnecessary hits to the legs, to the knees, and the shelf life isn't great. But for whatever reason, I've never been high on these quarterbacks that are like 6'6" and above. Trevor Lawrence, he's playing good ball, man. And like I said, the Jaguars are one of these teams. You're not going to want to see them in the first round if they do get in, which they do have a chance. Cowboys, on the other hand, Cowboys got to get some stuff done, the next few weeks,
They do, man. They do. No, those are all great points. The Jaguars looked really good. That was a quality team that they're playing, right? And
Absolutely.
there was not a lot of prognosticators, whatever you want to call them. I didn't give the Jaguars much of a chance in that game, especially after they struggled against the Texans. The Cowboys did the week before, but the Texans, they kind of showed something back-to-back weeks that they're they might not be there yet, but they might be they're a stingy team. They've been playing teams really tough. So the Jaguars to beat Dallas, that was awesome.
You talking about the Texans?
Yeah.
Like this,
they've been stingy
for a while. They were going to get my, not winner of the week, but hot shot of the week. But I came off of that. But dude, they're playing good football.
Yeah.
I think the Texans are playing. I don't want to say good football, but they're playing teams tough and they're hanging in there.
They're being competitive. They're fighting.
Right. They're being competitive. And at this point in the season, that's all you can ask for in a team that's got 1 win.
Yeah.
Because they easily could have packed it in and said, all right, we're done. We're just going to play. We're gonna focus on draft or whatever. But dude, they're playing every game competitive, and you got to give them, credit, even in a hard time.
So Drew, you're a quarterback. Is it safe to say that now you approve of Sunshine Lawrence?
I don't think I ever I did.
Oh, yes, you
I
did.
said no.
Yes,
I did.
you
I said
did.
he's got to prove it to me.
Yes,
he's got to
you
prove it to
did.
me. And now, I mean, now you're
Earlier in the
asking, all right,
season
here
when
we
he was
go,
doing
here we go.
terrible,
All right.
you were same thing you just said. Oh, he's
No,
only
and I
throwing one
and I did,
touchdown.
and I said
He's doing this, he's doing that. And
I
like
did,
I told
did,
you,
and I said that he's
said-
got to be this guy. He's got to be the pick. He's got to start living up to,
you
the
did.
where
You said
they
that.
drafted him. And
you did.
and if that and
I
if
told
he
you it
does
was
that,
going to come. I told you it was
All
going
right,
to come. He's a winner.
well,
One thing about winners, I don't care what level it is. If you've won on every level, all the way up into the NFL, their success is different. But if you're a winner, you know how to win.
yeah,
The kid is figuring
listen,
it out. Everything
I'll tell
has
you what he's
slowed
figured
down.
out. And to kind of Drew's point, when he was kind of slamming them earlier this year, it was the turnovers. It was the interceptions.
It was
the fumbles.
And
over the last 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks,
5 weeks, he's only got one pick.
He's found the number one receiver in
Who is it?
Jones.
Look, I'm not
In
ready
Jones.
to crown the guy.
I'm not crowning him. I'm not crowning him. I'm not crowning him. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Joe Montana or the next whoever, or Brett Favre or next Tom Brady. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I knew eventually he was going to get better. I also knew that he had to have a true number one. Before, Kurt was his best target. He's a slot receiver. ETN was back and forth. Now he has Jones,
but also the defense. They're giving him
the defense definitely has stepped up.
Is playing well, and you know who I am ready to crown is Doug Peterson.
Yeah,
because he's putting this guy in positions to be successful, and that's what a good coach does. And if you have a quarterback that does one thing well or one thing better than something else, you got to protect them. You got to build the offense around that. And Peterson, he did it in Philadelphia, and he's doing it in Jacksonville, and it's fun, man, because I like Doug. I've always been a Peterson fan, but it's just fun to watch. Like I said, I was critical.
He's been
and
playing
I said
well.
that I was critical of Lawrence.
But
there's no doubt about it.
You mentioned that, Drew. You can see him turning that corner, and that's awesome to see. Now the thing is, he did the same thing last year.
Podcast.
He could
Maybe he's watching.
Hey,
he said, "Shit,
Let's go."
Drew said, "I got to step it up."
We got to get him.
I'm not saying he's not watching the podcast. Nobody ever said that.
Nobody ever said that. Hey, Slick, who's your winner of the week, man? Drew got the Jaguars. That was a phenomenal win. Who you got, man? What stood out to you in week 15?
I'm gonna go back to the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a given, but they're winning. They're winning.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, since we're talking about the Eagles, now they're in a position. This is such a weird time of the year, right? Especially for a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 13-1.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't. I mean, they lost to the Commanders earlier in the year, but they haven't really been challenged. They've been blowing some teams out. Now Jalen Hurts, right? This is like really the first type of adversity I'd say that they've kind of faced all season. They got Jalen Hurts that went down with
shoulder injury.
Separated shoulder.
Yeah.
He might miss this game against the Cowboys. Actually, I think he's probably going to miss it. Like if they were smart, right? I know it's the Cowboys and all that stuff, but they basically have to win one game to lock up the number one seed. One game is all they got to win. So do you think like having this next 3 weeks where they basically win one game, they got the number one seed locked up and they don't really have to play for much. Do you think that is something that hurts a team as they transition into the playoffs? Or do you think that might be something that could benefit them? I'm curious to see what you think about
it. In some cases, yes. In their case, no, because I feel like Minshew is still a gunslinger. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you don't really have to change up too much of your offense. Because even though Jalen Hurts isn't a gunslinger, he's still been throwing the ball well. And
running the ball.
He's been running the ball, and they've been running the ball as well as far as the backs. But Jalen Hurts has been throwing the ball well too. He's been getting his receivers involved way more than he has in the past.
I'll tell you what, Devonta Smith has looked really good. He's looked really good as a compliment to
he's the one
AJ Brown.
He's the one who has who's really profited most from this AJ Brown acquisition, other than AJ Brown himself. He's having himself a year, but Devontae Smith is playing really well. He's a great.
What did I say he was, BP?
I don't know.
What did I say Smith was?
Said he was a 2.
Now you take the target. You take all the focus off him. Put all the focus on the true number 1. Now you can move Smith around, whether it's slot, whether it's outside sometimes, or you just pick the mismatches with him, and he's fast, and you just give him the ball and let him do what he does.
I
think they'll still pull it off against the Cowboys. Like I think Minshew is good enough to still
even with the 2.
Yeah,
I think the Cowboys win in Dallas this week.
I think
Hurts isn't going to play. Hurts is like on record saying that he could play. Like it's his
there's no reason for him to play.
It's his
there's no reason for him to
shoulder.
play, right?
It's a shoulder strain. You said shoulder separation. It's the first time I'm hearing
it was like I heard it was a bruise. Like the interview that I saw with Sirianni.
I've heard like 4 things. It's weird.
They said like a shoulder bruise.
BP, you said is this clinching the first number 1 seed?
They just need one game
for them.
1 out of the next 3.
Now listen, like, dude, I think in some cases it's bad for teams. In other cases,
I do too.
It's good for teams. God dang, that McDonald's coming back up. The Eagles their bye week was in week 7. All right, we're going into week 16 now. And they got week 16, 17, and week 18. They could use a week off. This new 18-week schedule is tough on a lot of teams where you're playing a lot of friggin' games in a row, and the Eagles are on that stretch, and they'll get a week off, in the first round of the playoffs. But it's not going to hurt, I don't think, these guys to get some rest and get those 2s in there. Minshew's capable. Dallas is playing. Dallas is playing for their life. It's in Dallas. They got to split one, man. They do. They got to. I don't know. I just see Dallas, and we'll talk about the picks, I'm sure, later. But
and we'll bring up it's a really weird season when it comes to like how the playoffs are kind of shaking out, especially in the NFC side. Like AFC side, you got teams like literally fighting for their life that has had good season, like an entire good season, trying to get in there and trying to fight for playoff seating. Like the NFC is almost kind of locked in.
They got teams like the NFC South, like.
Oh my god!
I wish they could just like handpick like the college football, like take the 12 best.
If you're under
teams,
500, I don't care what you did. Like
exactly,
done.
That's bull crap.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with my winner this week, and I got to tip my hat to the Minnesota Vikings. I got to tip my hat to them. Right, like 33 points that they came back from. Now, they also had some breaks not go their way. There was a fumble return for a touchdown that was as clear as day that I thought, like, why are we blowing the whistle on forward progress, right? That was a touchdown was taken away. They end up scoring on that drive anyway. But it was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen, because it was like the Colts all of a sudden was like, yeah, we're not going to play defense anymore, like at all. We're not playing this at all anymore. So, I got to give it to the Vikings because they just kept chipping away. They kept making plays. Dalvin Cook looked explosive, and it was absolutely a great game by Kirk Cousins, because that first half was something that was just a travesty. And by the way, Jalen Reagor, they need to get him off that team in Minnesota, because two of Kirk Cousins picks.
They ran him out of town in Philly. And I do want to give a shout out to Randy here, man. Randy hosts his own podcast, the Let's Get It podcast, back here, and he's a big Philly sports guy, 4 for 4. Thanks for chiming in, Randy. And I agree, man. Like I think let Minshew do his thing and give Hurts time to rest. But dude, repeat to your game. Like I'm watching that game at my brother-in-law's house. I'm like, yo, like, and they're Vikings fans, and I'm like. You guys are like, this is bad. This is like Jeff Saturday. Like
uncomfortable.
Like, it was weird. But by the time I get home, and I'm like, all right, something's not like. I could see it building, and I'm like, all right, there's more than 5 minutes, 6 minutes left in the third quarter, and then you see it's like 33 to like 24, and I'm like, all right, something's going on here, and then. It was just fun. It was a fun game. It was a fun way to kick off a Saturday. And then you had the stinker with the Browns, but dude, good slate of Saturday football. And I know, he wasn't any of our winners, but let's just touch on that Bills game real quick. And my boy Joshy, like you talk about Ricky wants to throw me eating crow for Trevor Lawrence. BP, anytime you want to change your tune on my boy Josh Allen, man, I'm ready for it. So
at least for 2022, until I want to see him. I want to see him in the big game is what I want to see, because he's an elite talent. He's an elite talent.
I don't disagree with
that's
that
something
at all.
I'm not arguing with. I know that he is.
He's an elite talent. He's an elite great talent. Quarterback.
He is. I just want to see, like, there's some mistakes that he makes, and they're Brett Favre.
25 of 40 for 304 and 4 tutties in a friggin' snowball, and 77 yards rushing.
Hey, I do want to give a tip of the cap.
Come on, man.
He played ball. I need that every week, though. I need it every week.
That's what I'm saying.
I just need to rub that in, and you know,
I feel you.
He played ball.
You know those mortar things that you make fresh avocado.
Yeah, that's me
feeling. With Brandon with my Josh Allen stuff.
Yeah,
bro. That's me. I'm just grinding that avocado.
I feel all the way over here.
I don't like Josh. I don't dislike Josh Allen. Like, I like him as a quarterback. He's good. I give him all his props. I just don't like I said, I say it all the time. I just don't like when he plays a certain way and Lamar Jackson or Tua plays a certain way and is real compatible or similar, and commentators and fans and whoever else, they still praise Josh Allen as if he had a great game when he really didn't. Either the running game or the defense or a receiver made a crazy play for him and they won the game. And the same thing may happen over here with Tua or Lamar Jackson, and they talk about like what he didn't do in the third quarter, or how he didn't finish, or how the defense came up big for him, or whatever the case may be. I just want it to be even. That's it.
Can we talk about the flip side of this? Are the Dolphins in trouble?
I feel like they are. Yeah, absolutely.
They possibly could be.
Yeah, I'm like,
are they your loser, Drew? Because
they're not, but they can be. I didn't really look at it.
Yeah.
So let's say my loser was gonna, and I'm sure I'm gonna take it, but the freaking Patriots, like play at the end of the game. Oh. What are you doing? I wish we had it queued up, but it's been a long week for me. You know, I had, like I said, Tony Treetum stop by on.
What the hell's going on out here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
If everybody didn't see it, dude? I mean, you got to go back and
watch
it.
I love that clip.
You got to go back and watch the last play of the Patriots game this week, when it's the last play of the game and the game's tied and they're lateral in the ball. And the Patriots player throws it right to the other team. They run it in for a touchdown.
Let me ask you this,
because my loser of the week.
I've been thinking about that play. Okay, that now to me that there's 3 people you can kind of point the blame at. One is the coaching staff not knowing situations, right? 2 is Stevenson, why he lateraled to begin with. Like, what is he doing? And then you have Jacoby Myers? Yeah,
Jacory, is that his name? He was very remorseful. He was devastated.
I mean, he's the scapegoat for it, because ultimately it was his lateral that got taken to the house. But to me, there's 3. It's the coaching staff. It's Stevenson for what is he even doing lateraling?
We're running a play at that point. And just not kneeling it out.
So I guess it's because it's Bill Belichick, and you expect the Patriots team to know situational football and to like be well versed, and like that should never happen. And it's kind of weird. Like we'd expect it from the Browns, maybe. Like if the Browns happen, like we'd be like,
went rogue, man,
it's the Browns. Yeah,
they went rogue.
They did.
I think,
but that's why it's on the coaching staff.
Belichick's done.
I do too.
We're just hitting on a bunch of. It's like a spider web tonight. We're just hitting everywhere, but. I think Belichick's done.
You think he retires?
He can't stand not being elite.
Yeah.
He cannot stand going through this process.
Yeah.
He's going to retire and maintain his legacy. Not that I'm saying this is like killing his legacy, but
no,
it's just proven that Tommy. It's just proven that Tom
put a hinder on it. It can put a stain on it if he continues.
Yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
It won't kill it. Man. It won't kill it, but it definitely could put a stain on it.
I'll tell you who was the winner of that play was Chandler Jones, because that's about the only play he's made all season long for the freaking Raiders.
I'll tell you who was the winner of that play. Vegas. In more ways than one. In more ways than one.
Oh my God. That stuff is crazy. Hey, Slick, who you got as your loser this week, man?
The Cowboys.
Woo!
Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys.
That was quick.
very
he didn't have to
quick.
think about it, bro.
No,
He was
no,
ready.
no knock to Jacksonville. They played well. No knock to Trevor Lawrence. He did his thing. No knock to the coaching staff. But I just did not expect for the Cowboys to lose to the Jaguars.
I don't think many people did, Rick.
No,
I just
I
really
didn't.
don't.
Like,
I didn't expect it. Like I thought
didn't.
Dallas or the Jaguars would maybe put up some points because that's what they've been doing. But I thought, you know, the cream would rise to the top about midway through the second quarter.
That's what I
But that's
thought.
just not what happened. And then it was just like those. And this is my thing about Dallas is like when the time comes for those crucial plays to be made to go win a game, like they don't always do it. Like
and it's
they
been
like
like that
expect
for
it to happen,
years.
and it just doesn't happen, and then you're looking
you're
like,
right,
why?
Rick. It's been like that since their run in the 90s.
Yeah, since Troy
They
Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, since that crew. Like after those guys, when they had a Drew Bledsoe, Quincy Carter,
even Tony Romo,
yeah,
they made those plays, man.
They just couldn't. Yeah, for whatever reason, it was. And
they've
had
had
some
for years is they just can't. Yeah. They don't win the important games, man. They can be
don't.
great in the regular season, but what have you done for me lately? Like
let me ask you guys,
they're just not getting it done, man.
Because I wanted to kind of peel back this onion a little bit. They won last time in 1995, but they haven't been blooming onion, baby. They have not really been anything in the playoffs for a long time. Like they get one win, they're out in the divisional round. I don't think they've been in a championship game since 95.
Yeah, but how many times have they been favored in those playoff games?
A lot of times.
Yeah. Pretty much.
This is
like
the same old sorry ass
if
Cowboys?
not every year, every other year.
I don't want to say that, BP. I don't want to say that, but the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't win, like you got all this talent. What were they, 10-1 at one point?
Yeah.
They're not 10-1. They weren't 10-1.
No, they weren't 10-1, but they've been right there. I mean, they're a 10-win football team right now.
Again, you got the loss. They lost 2 weeks in a row now, right?
No, they could have lost last week to the Texans.
Yeah, right.
And now they lost.
You got a crappy showing against the Texans. You got a loss to the Jaguars. You got a big game coming up, against the Eagles. And I'm not. I think this game means a lot more to the Cowboys than it does to the Eagles.
Oh, for sure.
Like you guys said, you only need one of the next three for Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I don't know the math for the Cowboys.
They're going to be a wild card team. Like they're going to be a wild card team.
Right.
They're locked in the
playoffs right now. Are we talking about seeding and stuff like that? Are we talking about home playoff games? Like, are they fighting for positions or what?
Yeah, we'll bring that up. But they are locked in the playoffs. Cowboys are locked in right now. They're a 10-win team, and but like the entire NFC East right now is in the playoffs, I believe. Yeah. So for them, they're a 10-win team. The other teams below them, I think, are just 7 wins. So I think they get one more. They're locked into that 5th spot, which is crazy to me that an under 500 team like the Buccaneers is going to host a playoff game right now.
Yeah. That's
gnarly. And you got a 10-win, probably 11 to 12 win Cowboy team that's going to be on the road the entire time.
Crazy.
But for me, like that spells disaster for the Cowboys. Like they get into the playoffs. Yeah, they have a great regular season. And then what happens in the playoffs? It's the things that happen against the Jaguars. It's the things that happen against the Texans that ultimately come back and haunt this team. And I mean, as much as we don't want to say it because we want to believe that they're a really good football team, they're not showing me that they can take that next step and be in that championship game or anything like that, be consistent.
Pave the way for the Chargers to make a playoff run with that L. Thanks, Patriots. Is that true?
I mean, the Chargers are right there. They're right there. Getting they have an opportunity to get in the playoffs.
They're right there.
Somebody said touch on Baker Mayfield. We didn't really talk about that much last week about him coming in and playing.
He's been playing decent though. With LA, he's been playing decent, especially with the fact that they got a lot of guys that are injured. Like their whole O-line. I don't know if you guys watched the game the other night, but they showed where it was like 14 different lineups or 14 different guys that was in the O-line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
I mean, for somebody coming in, and I know him and McVay have a rapport, but for somebody coming in, off the plane.
Exactly. Basically. Right, But again, it goes back to what I said. If you're a winner, you're a winner. He walked on at Texas Tech.
This past week. But
No, I'm saying in general. He walked on that Texas Tech, got the starting position, balled, left, walked on that Oklahoma, did his thing, balled. Like if you're a winner,
He was
you're a
Heisman
winner.
winner, right?
Your mentality
Yeah,
is
he
your
won.
mentality. Like no matter what the level is, you're going to find a way to make it happen.
He can get it done, and I was interested to see him play against the Packers and all that stuff. But
kind of
I'm gonna shift gears real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, to my loser of the week is the Tennessee Titans, and honestly, they could be my loser for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna win the AFC South, but they're playing against the Chargers, and I picked them to win that game. What are they like? What are they gonna do? Like they've been so
Did I pick
close in
them
the
to win?
playoffs.
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
I think I won.
No.
Let me just go back and look because I have it pulled up right now.
Oh, the Titans,
yeah. I got the Chargers
I
in
think
that
both
one.
you guys picked the Chargers, and I was like, nah, man, Derrick Henry's going to do his thing. The weakness of the Chargers defense is going to be right. And you know what? The Tennessee Titans, they're going to win the division. They're going to be one and done. They're going to take a playoffs loss at home in the wild card round to a team that's scrapping and clawing. I hate to say it, but Tannehill's probably done for the season. I read a report today.
Yeah,
he's probably
They
done.
need to draft the quarterback.
Did
Or
they
they
do
need to
that?
get a quarterback.
Didn't they just draft Malik Willis though? Like,
Oh, true.
he ain't the answer. He's not the answer.
Yeah,
there, though.
no, you're right.
I mean, they
I
drafted
don't like
Malik Willis.
Tannehill.
I feel like Malik Willis needs to be behind someone for at least like 2 or 3 more years.
He needs to develop
to figure out.
You know,
exactly.
you know what he needs? All-state quarterback training. Look it up on Facebook.
He needs a number one.
Yeah.
Like
no, he needs
he doesn't. Yeah, he needs a number one quarterback in front of him so he can learn and be developed.
Nice.
Like even if you give him a number one receiver, it's still not going to help. Like,
bro, how bad would you be? How bad would you be if you got drafted and you're like, all right, man, I can't wait to learn from who's their first Ryan Tannehill, man. How bad would you be?
I like Willis. I like what he did at Liberty. I like his ability. I like his athleticism. I feel like he has the ability to become a great quarterback in the NFL. But I just feel like he has to sit behind somebody for the next 2 to 3 years to really learn.
I'm not gonna lie.
What I'm saying? Like,
I think we throw around that word or that phrase "great quarterback" way too freely because there is such thing as average quarterbacks, and I can see him being an average to an above average quarterback, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't know if I see him being a great quarterback, but I'm not just saying.
I'll say above average, but I feel like he needs to sit behind a great quarterback. He can't be above average, but sit behind the average guy. It's not.
You're right.
We're talking about it right now. Tannehill is an average guy.
Well, not only that, but it's an average quarterback, not with Malik's skill set either. Like Malik's going to use his legs, right? Tannehill's not using his legs, so maybe that benefits him be able to go through the reads and stuff like that, which he could use help with. But he would if RG3 was in the league, like that would be a guy like you watch. A Lamar Jackson, somebody.
But that's the thing. I don't even want Willis to be behind one of those guys. I want him to be behind a pocket passer because the athleticism and the fact that he's going to use his legs, that's just natural instinct. That's natural instinct. That's going to come. I need him to be behind.
When to run, when to look downfield, when to be able to use your legs.
But that's why I need him to be behind a pocket passer because. A more traditional, I wouldn't even say a more traditional quarterback in today's era because it's starting to go the opposite way. But I need him to be behind what they consider a pocket passer so he can understand the decision making, the reads, the this and that. And if it doesn't look the way you want it to look, now you let your athleticism take place and you take off and you do whatever, but you still keep your eyes downfield.
That's the thing. You make
plays.
It's not that first read's not there. It comes down to the rush and how I can make a play. And that's what separates like being able to make plays down the field.
If he's behind a Lamar Jackson or somebody that's already a dual threat quarterback, he may learn how to be a better runner, but he's not going to learn how to really put the whole everything with his package. He needs to mesh those games together.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the playoff picture here right now. So it changed dramatically this last week. So let's start with the NFC side. The Eagles have clinched the playoffs. They're 1 win away from clinching the number 1 seed in the entire NFC. The Vikings clinched their division, so they're in the number 2 spot now. They haven't clinched that because the 49ers are right behind them. Matter of fact, if the Vikings would have lost that game against the Colts, the Niners would have jumped them because they have a better conference record. So that's going to be something that we kind of keep an eye on in the next few weeks, because the Niners can jump up to number 2 and the Vikings can drop down to number 3 pretty easy. Now the Cowboys, they're sitting right there. They're clinched in the playoffs, but they're not a division winner. So they're a wild card team. They're going to be in the number 5 spot. I don't really foresee them being able to jump anywhere beyond that. Okay. 5 is where the Cowboys are going to be. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have not clinched the playoffs yet, but they are leading their division. Okay. Now, the Carolina Panthers, if they win out, which is, I think they have another game against the Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken, they can actually overtake the Buccaneers which is crazy. 6-8 football team right now. We're talking week 16. That's crazy. They're going to host a playoff game. Whoever wins that NFC South. And then you got the Giants, and then you got the Commanders right there. The Giants, basically, with their win on Sunday, almost basically locked themselves in that number 6 spot. Now, if they lose out, they're probably not going to be in the playoffs. But the Commanders, if they're in the playoffs, is most likely going to be at the number 7 spot. Okay?
I can see the Lions overtaking the Commanders.
I was just about to say that, Drew. The Lions are now 7-7.
I think the Lions, I don't know why they're not in that picture, but
me neither.
They need to be 7-7.
This is who's in right now. This is who's in right now. And we'll get to the Lions here in a second. Let's go to the AFC side. The Bills hung on to that number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, if they would have lost against the Dolphins, the Chiefs would have overtaken them for that number 1 seed. But they're both in the playoffs, and I'm sure. I know I'm talking for myself. I can talk for you guys too. I can't wait to see that game in the playoffs, Bills and Chiefs, whenever that game takes place. We got the Bengals, who are hitting their stride.
Playing hot. They're playing like the best offense in the NFL.
They are.
I don't think it continues though. I don't think it continues.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. We're talking about the Titans earlier. They're going to win their division, but I don't see a lot from them. The Ravens right now are in the number 5 spot, first wild card seed. You got the Chargers at number 6, Dolphins at number 7. Guys, those are all strong teams in the AFC side, and they're all battling. So let's take a look at on the bubble. So NFC side, you got the Seahawks, Lions. The Packers are still kind of in there, and the Panthers are there because they can actually potentially win the division still. On the AFC side, you got the Patriots, you got the Jets, who were in the week before. Now they're out. Then you got the Jags, and you got the Raiders. So let me ask both of you guys this question. Start with Drew. Who's on the outside looking in right now that you think is going to be in the dance when it comes playoff time?
For the NFC, I'm going Detroit, because I think they got a chance to win at least the next 2 out of 3.
They're playing against the Panthers this week too.
Yeah, so I'm going Detroit for the NFC, and then for the AFC, out of those 4 teams, the Jets. I can't. I want to say the Jaguars, but that's reaching. The Jets probably they got a shot. Patriots. It depends on what Patriots team shows up, honestly. But I can't pick one. I'm going to say the Jets.
Okay, what do you got, Slick?
Same. I was talking about it today with a coworker. Lions and the Jets. Like the Lions, and we've talked about it on the show, how the Lions started out looking like the typical Detroit Lions, but maybe like week 6 all the way up to now, they've really bought into whatever the coaches, the coach and the coaching staff is teaching, and whatever they're providing, they've really bought into it. Like it's all on like a whole
6 of their last 7 games.
Yeah, it's like a one team, one sound type deal. And you can see it every Sunday. Like you literally see it.
And their next 3 is the Panthers, the Bears, and the Packers. There's 3 winnable games.
Yeah.
So what we talking about?
Panthers, Bears, Packers.
So if they win all 3, they're 10-7.
Like, right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know I don't know how many they need to win. I don't know how many they need to win. But
they probably need to win. They probably need to win 2 of the next 3 because the Seahawks play the Chiefs this week. The Commanders play the Niners this week. So those teams that are kind of like right there, they're playing some really good opponents where that's going to be really tough. Now, if the Commanders beat the Niners this week, that's gonna put more pressure on those teams that are on the outside looking in. Now, the Packers, they could potentially get in too, but they're a game back of the Lions right now. Carolina can sneak in by just simply winning their division, but they got to start against the Lions this week. Those are some big games. Yep. Now, the Jets and the Jags play this week, tomorrow night, in fact.
Yeah, that's a great game tomorrow.
That's gonna, yeah.
How crazy is that to say that's a great game? It's a meaningful game.
It is.
I hope it lives up to the hypes, you know.
But the crazy thing is, the reason why you said it's a great game is because both of them have gotten better throughout the season and they've been playing good ball. So it's a possibility to
gotten better. The Jets,
I think the Jets have gotten worse.
Yeah,
I won't say worse.
Well, their quarterback situation, right? You got Mike White, you bench Zach Wilson, then you bring in Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. Kind of there. When I saw him in the game Sunday or Saturday, whenever they played, I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was going to be the starter.
Man, I know.
I knew Whitehead got hurt, but I thought they were going to bring Flacco in. When I saw him play, I was like, "Whoa! Why did I pick the Jets?"
Did you guys know Mike White went to like 10 different doctors to try to get a doctor to clear him to play in the game? Like there was not a doctor that would have cleared him to play with his rib injury, and he went to 10 different doctors to try to. Man, that's a weird situation with the Jets, man. And being on the outside looking in without like a definitive guy at the quarterback position, I think like that just kind of spells disaster for them.
I would have went with Flacco. Right. When I saw Zach Wilson in the game, I got upset because I picked the Jets to upset the Bills. And when I saw Zach Wilson, I'm like, it's too late. Can't take it back.
Oh, man. Hold on, I just got a message on my phone real quick. Oh man. You guys aren't gonna believe this.
What happened?
You guys aren't gonna believe this. The Proffit is stuck in Atlantic City with Tony Three Thumbs because Tony Three Thumbs was getting sticky fingers in the slot machines.
What? He told me he was going home. He went to Atlantic City without me.
He went to Atlantic City with Tony Three Thumbs.
It's like 30 minutes from my house. I knew he wasn't going home. I knew the Proffit wasn't going home. He told me, he said, me and Tony are drinking eggnog, and you know how that goes with
how do you let Tony Three Thumbs play the slots? That just seems like it's disaster.
Well, no, I heard that the casinos actually banned him from playing roulette because when they spin the ball, you know, he always try to grab the ball, put the ball in his number, right? He's like, no, it's got to go on number 3. It's a 3 every time. That's how I work.
The Proffit just told me he sent something to you, Drew, about like kind of what is going on with him.
Did tell me, and I'm going to try my best to. So for you guys who haven't picked it up out there, Proffit will not be on the show tonight.
He's talking with Tony Three Thumbs in Atlantic City.
Proffit had a little too much eggnog, I think, on the flight home from Atlantic City. Oh, he is still there. Okay, so I did get some information here from the Proffit. He did want me to tell you. And I quote, I need to apologize to the Blitz Nation and anybody who took my advice this past week. The timing of having my only bad week this year could not have been worse. So I guess a couple of his picks didn't pan out last
Matt
week.
Ryan, number 1, because I took his advice and I went with Matt Ryan and he gave me a measly 10 points. Measly 10 points in the playoffs. Okay. And I should have known it as soon as he said freaking Matt Ryan. I was like, man, but I'm in the middle of,
playoffs.
Right in the middle of it.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Right in the middle
playoffs?
Of it. Anyway, I was right in the middle of it.
So I got a couple plays here for you fantasy guys who are in the playoffs. Proffit says this week's must start at quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. If you got him in your lineup, or if you got him on your team, get him in your lineup. He's going to have a big game.
Got him.
Number 2 at running back, James Cook. It's going to be frigid in Chicago. Yeah, Cali D. It's the coast of Cali D. See, look, I try to be a Proffit, and he overtakes me. He's playing with my mind.
He does.
James Cook, if you got him on your team, get him in your lineup because he's going to have a big one. And wide receiver must start Mike Evans. He says the magic will reappear this week between Tom Brady and Mike Evans. So
We
Did he
shall
say
see.
magic because his name's Mike? Magic Mike? I knew
Magic
he was up to
Mike
something.
Evans,
He's been in
right.
Atlantic City for too long.
We
They're probably
shall
trying
see.
to fingerprint Tony Three Thumbs, and they can't get a good print because he's got 3 thumbs.
oh,
Well,
this
do I
is
put it on the forefinger? I don't know.
Oh man, these people aren't going to like
boy.
his sits.
Oh no,
I don't like his sits because I just spent
no.
the first 10 minutes talking about him, and
Oh, no.
his number one sit at quarterback is Trevor Lawrence.
Oh no.
Trevor Lawrence, and listen, we're supposed to get. Damn it, Kelly D.
I'm
The
actually
Proffit's
surprised.
Crystal ball is broken.
Yeah. Notice that the Cali D's keyboard works really well, and the Proffit's not defending himself.
Ooh, Callie, what's up with that,
Whoa.
man? He says,
Whoa.
sit Trevor Lawrence. We got
Yeah.
wind, we got rain. Oh my, it's a triple header or a double header. No, wait, wind and rain and cold. Oh my, so we got triple header. Anyway,
Oh my god.
his sit him at running back will be Brian Robinson. All right, and then sit him at
Because he's going against the Niners defense. I like
Come
the
on.
Proffit when he
Yeah.
does it.
the sit him against for the wide receiver position, Garrett Wilson, coming out of the same game as the Jaguars. Dude, I don't know about you guys, if you guys know, but we're under like a severe storm watch here in the Northeast. It's going to be rain, wind. It's going to be warm. It's not going to be snow, but it's supposed to be really bad weather between tomorrow and Saturday. So it's going to be a slop fest tomorrow night for that game. Yeah, he's got wind and rain. Garrett Wilson, if he's on your roster, sit him. And lastly, the lock of the week, Baltimore Ravens
Ooh, there you go, Slick.
is the lock of the week for the Prophets. And in closing, Proffit would like to say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, and I will be back next week.
Oh man.
Proffit, we miss
You
man.
I know. I miss the guy. I miss the guy, but I knew that as soon as he said that he was traveling with Tony Three Thumbs from your house, I knew that there was going to be trouble.
Yeah,
And he was
well,
trying to text me.
trouble.
He was trying to text me, and then I see it, and I'm going, "Oh man, he is stuck in Atlantic City with Tony Three Thumbs." Of course he would be,
yeah.
because I had some words for him over that Matt Ryan pick. I tell you.
Well, maybe that's why he's not here, because he knew
Could
that
be.
a lot of people were
He
coming
knew.
after him. Ironically, no emails this week.
Oh yeah,
Funny how
yeah,
Funny
yeah.
how that plays when you have a
Absolutely.
bad week. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, hey, before we get into our week 16 picks and all that, we got Christmas this Sunday, boys. We got Christmas this Sunday. And I want to know, what is your guys' favorite Christmas tradition? Like in your guys' households? I mean, you got Christmas Eve that rolls around, you go into Christmas. What does that look like in your houses? Drew, you got a couple of really cute kiddos with some amazing pictures this last weekend with the visit with your parents. What is your favorite Christmas tradition that you kind of created in your household, man?
yeah. So the one thing that we've always done since I was a little Proffit, every Christmas Eve we go to my grandparents' house. They have dinner for us and stuff like that. We go there, we hang out. I'm a big homebody when it comes to the holidays, man. I want to spend my holidays, not saying I don't want to spend it with the family, but dude, we got our immediate family too. Like I want to make those memories together, and I don't want to always be on the run. So the one thing I love about Christmas for us is after, we'll always do my grandparents on Christmas Eve, but when we come home Christmas Eve, we do, we exchange our gifts on Christmas Eve night from the family. So, my daughters will get us stuff. We'll get, my daughters a couple things. Me and my wife will exchange gifts. So we do that Christmas Eve night. And then, once Christmas Day rolls around, then we got, the presents from the big man, Santa Claus, for the kids. And then I'll make a nice bacon and egg breakfast. We'll go crazy with a big feast. And then we just kind of sit around all day, man. We sit around all day and hang out, and whoever wants to come by comes by. doors open. It's an open house. We're just chilling. We're eating snacks. We got, charcuterie board, whatever. We're just chilling all day watching football. So that's what I really love about Christmas is doing absolutely nothing with my family and just chilling and having a good time watching my girls play with their toys or do whatever they got. So that's what I like to do.
That's good stuff, man. Slick, how about you? What's your favorite Christmas tradition in your household, man?
It has changed throughout the years. When I was younger, like from a little slick all the way up to maybe I'll say maybe like 13,
Medium slick.
Medium slick. Like my tradition, like a tradition that we did in my household with my mom and dad, and my brothers, we would me and my brothers would wake up like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like get the presents going, open up the whole house. Like mom, dad, hey.
Oh man, I remember that.
Before we understood the whole we thought Santa Claus was real.
But we still got people to watch this show, Rick.
Sorry.
You can't say that.
Sorry.
You can't say that. You got to believe.
You're right. I apologize. I was out of line.
Oh my God, that's good.
But so our younger years, believing in old Saint Nick coming from the North Pole all the way down to itty bitty East Bridgeton, delivering presents. We would wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Why? I can't tell you to this day.
I did the same thing.
I can't tell you to this day, but we woke up like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Like we would it was crazy because in that era, it was no cell phones, but for some reason, we had a body timer to where we just knew 4:30 or 5 o'clock was oh, it's time to wake up. And all of us woke up, went in the living room, open presents, X, Y, and Z. Mom and dad would wake up. They would come in the living room, watch whatever. They would come in the living room, watch whatever the case may be. Cool. Go outside, do whatever we do throughout the neighborhood, bicycles, play basketball, whatever the case may be. Now that I've gotten older, I don't wake up as early anymore.
No.
And it's more we would always go to my grandma's house. That's where all the family would be. Same thing for Thanksgiving, same thing for Christmas. Now it's just about Friday we have a pajama party, a Christmas pajama party. So as I've gotten older, we've tried to do more things to that nature, family wise.
Right.
Where it's we might have a game night or game day or whatever the case may be, but it's this specific side of the family or this specific body of the family, you guys come in pajamas, but you're all red. This specific, you're all blue.
Oh, that's cool.
This specific, you're all green, whatever the case may be. On top of whatever your BYOB, bring something that fits that color. You get what I'm saying?
That's fun.
Okay.
Or your food. If you want to bring a food dish, bring it in that color. So we've got to that point, and I look forward to that stuff. I'm a big family guy.
Absolutely. And I think
I love
Mrs.
my family
Beebs
to
hits
death.
it right on the head here, man. Christmas is family, and
It is
definitely my favorite holiday.
I love my family to death.
How about you, BP?
Oh man, I think it's changed over the years, right? I think having a little girl, my biggest thing is watching her on Christmas, coming down the stairs, go check out the Christmas tree. The night before, we put, we don't have a chimney here, so we put a magic key on the door that allows Santa Claus to come in. I read the night before Christmas, we make cookies. So for Santa Claus, we set out the milk and the plate of cookies, and we get her up to bed. That's my favorite. And then in the morning is watching her coming down the stairs and, open up all her presents. And then it's kind of what you guys said, just kind of chilling with your family, just want to spend that time and watch your kiddos open up the presents, play with the stuff that they got and all that stuff. But man, I love the night before and that first morning when she comes in and she's like, what's downstairs,
Dude, I think that week this week building up to Christmas is the best week of the year. It's so much fun. And even though it's hectic, but dude, it's so much fun with you know, all the Christmas music on the radio and everybody just kind of hustling around and stuff like that. So I think that's really
for
fun.
sure.
I was
For
definitely
sure.
that 6 a.m. wake up too when I was a kid. And,
Oh man.
It was
we're
like
at,
to
you
this
know,
day, I really like I'm 37. I still cannot tell you what used to wake me up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
no.
Like I would be the first one up and I would go wake up my younger brothers just so like, hey,
Yep.
get up, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bro, my
Yep.
sister and I would be up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We go into my parents' house or in their room and say, hey, Santa Claus. And they'd be like, no, you got to wait. And so we'd be sitting there like waiting, you know, and there was like no iPads then. So you're like staring at the wall, like looking.
Yeah.
One
15 minutes felt like
burning
an hour.
memory, one burning memory in my mind was like waking up that early, and it was like, you know, early 90s, so like tighty whities were still a thing. So like my dad's wearing his like tighty whities and he's like putting the robe on and he's like, I'm like, Dad, put some freaky clothes on. He's like, I need my coffee. So we couldn't open no gifts until Dad had his coffee and he's sitting there in his robe, but he's got his legs open and the tighty whities are just shot. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, cuz? Like I said, I was like 6 years old.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
put some clothes on.
Man.
It was funny, bro. But yeah, we're getting to
hilarious.
the age like my youngest is like she knows who Santa Claus is. I think next year it'll be a little bit like better for her as a 3-year-old, but like right now she's like she knows who Santa Claus is and she just loves opening presents. So, but I don't think she gets the full Christmas thing yet. But it's so much fun. It's so much different when you got little kids too.
Bro, what's funny is my daughter, like she asked me this like this afternoon. Santa Claus isn't coming to my room, is he? It's okay for him to come in the house. Don't come into my room.
But he can't come in
Like,
the room. Yeah.
don't come in my room. Like, it's kind of funny. All right. Well, we got a big slate of games this weekend. Now, mind you, I didn't realize until I looked at the schedule how many Saturday games there are.
They're all on Saturday.
They're almost
there's
all
only
on
3
Saturday.
games
There's
on Sunday.
3 on Sunday and then 1 on Monday. So you got
Mhm.
game tomorrow, a whole slate on Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and then Monday. So it's going to be a really fun weekend where it's all spread out. We'll get to see a lot of teams play. But let's start off first with our Lucy's New York style pick of the week. When I saw the schedule at the beginning, I was like, Jaguars, Jets, like week of Christmas. Are you kidding me? But now this is a big game. Jaguars are playing good. Their offense is playing really well. By the way, we haven't talked about them much. So I had to pull up that image. Now we got the Jets, who have been in the playoffs, in and out of the playoffs, right? Now they're on the outside looking in. Drew, let's start with you, man. What are you looking forward to this game, and what's your score prediction for our Lucy's New York style pick of the week?
Well, I told you earlier, I said great. We got a great game tomorrow night. It's a good game tomorrow night. It's great from the standpoint of it's got playoff implications. It could be a lot worse for sure. We got a good football game tomorrow night. I think the Jets are on a downslide where I think the Jaguars are on an upslide. I got the Jaguars in this game, but I tell you, it's going to be a slop fest. All right, the game, we're going to get weather here, and it's 100%. It ain't going to miss us. So it's going to be sloppy. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be windy. This is going to be a low-scoring affair. Whoever wins the turnover battle might win this game. I got the Jaguars in this one, and I'm going like 17 to like 10. Like it might be something different than that, but maybe 17 to 9 or something like that. But I got 17 to 10 for the pick.
All right. Ramage says here Wilson starting, so that's something to keep your eye on too. Let's go with Slick. Who you got in this game, man? What do you like about it, and what's your score prediction?
I'm going with the Jets. Like Drew just said, I think the weather is going to play a factor. Jaguars are from Jacksonville, from Florida. Like, we're not used to that type of weather. Like, I'm just
it is supposed to be like 60 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah,
which
but
is
it's going to be
unseasonably
wet.
warm.
Yeah, it'll be 60 degrees, but it'll still be wet and sloppy. Like,
we're
used to hot, humid sunrise.
I got
so
you.
Again, Trevor Lawrence, his strengths are throwing the ball. If you can't really get too many completions from throwing the ball, your receivers aren't going to eat, which means you're going to have to rely on the run game. Their run game is okay, but their run game is good or decent because of the possibility or the availability of them being able to throw the ball. The Jets, you don't have to so much rely on Zach Wilson this week. You can rely on the run game and
That
the defense
defense
playing
too.
ball.
Like that defense has been
That's what I'm
playing
saying.
really well.
Like me personally, score wise, I think it'll be like I give it like 13-7. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game because of the
with
weather.
that weather. I didn't even think about that when it came into this week. So I'm glad for, thankful for Drew to let me know about it. But it's so tough to not go with Jacksonville in this game. But everything that you're saying, Slick, like I can see it playing into the Jets' hands a little bit with, sloppy, wet, windy. That's a defensive type of matchup. And I think the Jets do have the better defense. But I'm going to go with my original gut feeling on this. And I'm going to stick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I do think it is going to be a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be odd scoring too.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be
it wouldn't
weird
surprise
score.
me if there was just field goals in this game. Like if somebody didn't get in the end zone, I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm going to go with, let's go with 17. Let's go 17-13 with the Jaguars winning this game. That's what I got.
Yeah, I think that's a realistic score.
Well, that's it for our Lucy's New York style pick of the week. And remember, everybody, if it's not Lucy's,
forget
about it. All right, let's move on to our next score or our next game here. Now, I got to show this, okay? And this is a little sad. I'm going to preface this because today we lost an NFL legend. Today, Franco Harris, he passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 72 years old. Now, they were going to retire his jersey. He was going to be like the third Steeler or something like that. There was like number 3 that was going to have his jersey retired. But if you don't know who Franco Harris is, especially for you younger crowd, let me show this play because this game against the Raiders and the Steelers has historical significance in the NFL because a play called the Immaculate Reception happened in a wild card playoff round with the Steelers and the Raiders. And this is the 50th anniversary of it this weekend. So let me go ahead and show it.
Last chance for the Steelers.
Franco Harris.
Bradshaw trying to get away. And his pass is broken up by Tatum. Tipped off. Franco Harris has it. And he's over. What? Franco Harris grabbed the ball on a deflection. 5 seconds to
He
go.
was just running out on the field.
Wow, you don't see that anymore, man.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
No.
Let's watch
Fans
this
out there
Getting the one odds
celebrating
on
with the
this
team.
one.
The blonde bomber.
Ricochet out there off of Jack
That's right.
Tatum and into the man of the year, Franco Harris's hands.
There was
Wow.
like 3
Here's a miracle
seconds
of
left
all
when he-
miracles.
when he scored this. There was 3 seconds left in the game when he grabbed that and ran it in. So it was like that was literally a miracle that they won that game because the Raiders were going to do it. So now going into this weekend, right? You have Franco Harris that passed untimely. It's the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. And we had the Las Vegas Raiders going in to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Drew, I don't know if that changes anything for you, but who you got in this game, man?
Man, that makes me upset to hear about Franco Harris. I heard about that. Obviously, a legend in the NFL, legend to the Steelers, to their community, to their team. But it's not going to help. It's not going to motivate the Steelers enough to get it done because I got the Raiders in this one. I just don't like the brand of football that the Steelers have been playing. It's coming down to it, and the Raiders are on the outside looking in. I don't think the Steelers have, like I said, they're playing for to honor Franco Harris, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, man. I don't think that they're going to be able to use that motivation to beat the Raiders, and the Raiders are, I don't know, outside looking in, but I got the Raiders in this one.
Well, you got in this one, Slick. The Steelers are 2.5-point favorites in this game. Both teams are 6-8. Obviously, the Raiders have been all over the place this year, winning games that maybe they shouldn't win, losing games that they shouldn't lose, right? And they're both kind of sitting at 6-8. You got the Steelers who have Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. Trubisky threw like 3 interceptions. Kenny Pickett went out with a concussion. I think it was last week. Who do you got in this game, Slick?
I went with the Steelers. And I want the Steelers before you just let it be known that Franco Harris passed, which I didn't know. I went with the Steelers because of home field advantage. Like, I know how that Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania weather gets, especially the Pittsburgh weather this time of the month. They're close by. What is it? I forgot what river it is. But yeah, but it's right close by the stadium. Mm-hmm. And trust me, that breeze or that coolness that comes from the river is different. It's real different. I just don't think Vegas, those guys, again, I think weather is going to play a part in this game.
Good.
You in Pittsburgh, you got the terrible towels. They're in the mix of the type of weather that the Steelers are used to playing in, on top of what you just said about Franco Harris and the 50th. And I think all that stuff plays a part.
I know, man. I made my pick before I learned of, Franco Harris's death. I still got the Vegas Raiders in this one. And to me, I just think they're getting healthy at a time where, they still kind of have a shot at this. It's a very slim shot. I'm talking like Jenny Craig, like you're on a diet slim, bro. But you got Darren Waller coming back. He just returned from IR this last week.
He
got
did.
Hunter Renfrow. He's back. You know what helps out in the weather? A really good run game. The Raiders have the top running back in the NFL, and that's Josh Jacobs. I think he helps. And of course, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, because Devontae Adams has been a godsend for Derek Carr this year. I can't imagine what his numbers would look like without him, quite honestly. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one. I just think they have more playmakers. They're getting healthy kind of right now, whereas the Steelers, I think they're going to play good defensively. I just don't know what I'm going to get from them offensively. I don't know what quarterback's going to be out there. If it's Trubisky, I don't know what Trubisky I'm going to get. There's a 90% chance it's the bad Trubisky. If it's Kenny Pickett and it's bad weather, he's got those small hands holding that Whopper sandwich. I just got that in my hand. I just can't think that he's going to be doing well. So I'm going to take Las Vegas in this game, man. All right. This is a potential playoff matchup right now. We got the Washington Commanders at the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy mania is going wild in Santa Clara right now. Drew, I know you had some things to kind of say barely beat the Seahawks, although they were ahead and just dominating that game the entire time. It felt like 38-13. I almost hit Lucy's max. I almost hit the Lucy score last week, man. I picked 19-13. It was 21-13. I'm disappointed there. But Drew, who you got in this game, man? What do you like?
I got the 49ers in this one because I just don't think that the Commanders are the team that I thought they were a couple weeks ago. I think they're on the outside looking in. 49ers, give them credit. Give credit where credit's due. All right, they're playing a good style of football. They're playing good with the backup quarterback. One of the toughest teams in the league. I mean, they're gonna be tough to deal with, and I don't see Commanders being able to pull this one out.
What you got in this one, Slick?
I went with the 49ers as well. I think the Commanders are the team that they've been showing us, but at the same time, they've been up and down. 49ers defense has been playing crazy. And like you just said, the whole Purdy, the whole wave, like he's been playing ball. Like you can't knock him. And a lot of people that don't follow football for whatever reason, they make it seem as if like Purdy is one of these quarterbacks that just like came on the scene and nobody knows who he is and he didn't do anything. I understand he was Mr. Irrelevant, but like let's be real. Again, at Iowa State, like he was a guy.
Yeah.
To where it's like, what was it going into his senior year or junior year where he was like a Heisman hopeful or whatever the case may be? Like he was a guy.
That's awesome.
At Iowa State when he was playing like St. Mary's School of the Blind. Same team that played the same team that played Brandon when he was over in Germany. Was playing the teams against Iowa State. But
preseason he was a Heisman.
I think they opened up their season with friggin' Tarleton State or something like that. But
man, he's so mad.
For the three or 4 years he started at Iowa State, he played ball. You can't knock it.
He was a 4-year starter. And I think you can see that. The cool thing about Purdy is, I've been kind of more pessimistic than I normally am when it comes to him. And it's probably because where he was drafted and all that. But as I watch him play, like, it's not too big for him. Like, a lot of these plays that he's making, like he threw a pass to George. It was a second touchdown pass to George Kittle. I honestly think Jimmy throws it out to the swing pass to Christian McCaffrey because that's where it was designed. Kittle ends up breaking open because everybody bit on Christian McCaffrey. So he's in. It's not too big for him. The defense, that's the thing for me. Like, Taylor Heineke going against this defense, I think any quarterback going against this defense, I just think that they now this is going to be a test for Purdy because I do think the Washington Commanders pose a little bit of a different threat, especially in their front four, than the 49ers have really seen this year so far. So I'm excited to kind of see that. But I got the Niners in this game as well. They're 7-point favorites in this. That's at home. I definitely think that defense stands out, and Purdy, it's not on him. He just get the ball out to the playmakers, let the defense eat, and let's go. All right. This is the game. This is the game of the week. This is the game we've been really waiting for, and it sucks because I'm not sure. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to play. I'll just say it right now. And that's what we wanted to see, because last time these teams played, we saw Cooper Rush instead of Dak Prescott. And so now we're probably going to see Gardner Minshew instead of Jalen Hurts. But nonetheless, it's a game that's going to be played no matter what. It's the game of the week. You got the 13-1 Eagles going against the Cowboys in Dallas. The Cowboys are 5-point favorites right now. Drew, who you got, man?
I don't know if I see them as 5-point favorites, but all things considered, like I said, Hurts might not play. I think if this was the first or second round of the playoffs, Hurts will be playing in this game. The Eagles have far less to lose than the Cowboys do in this one. And I think I mentioned it earlier. I got the Cowboys in this one. They're not. I just got them winning at home. Eagles aren't going to be. I don't see Hurts playing either, but they don't need it as bad as the Cowboys do. If the Cowboys, want to prove that they're worth their salt here, then I think that they got to come out and show and put on a good showing against the Birds on Sunday or Saturday.
They're most likely going to see each other in the playoffs. So they'll probably see each other again at some point, probably divisional round if Dallas gets out of the wild card round. Slick, who you got in this game, man? Because I can see this one going either way. I can see the Philly defense really putting it to Dallas. Dallas has struggled against Jacksonville and the Texans the last couple weeks. So what do you got in this game? How do you see it going?
I went with Philly.
Even with Minshew.
I feel like Minshew is kind of like maybe not on the same level, but I feel like he's kind of like a Fitzpatrick, where he has the tangibles and the tools to be a starter, but because of decision making or whatever the case may be, he will always be a good backup. And when you put him in for like 3 to 5 games due to an injury or starter, whatever the case may be, he comes in and exactly. He's serviceable. He comes in, he does what he needs to do. The offense doesn't really skip a beat. He finds a way to get a win. I feel like Minshew will be able to do that for a game.
Okay.
And I think Minshew, another thing, dude, he's playing motivated because he missed practice yesterday for Mike Leach's funeral. He gave an eulogy there, so he might be going out and playing, motivated to show out for his former coach who passed away.
Washington State.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I got Philadelphia in this, man. I thought a lot about it because I think, if Dallas would really have showed out against the Texans, have showed out against the Jaguars, I think this would line up perfectly for them. They kind of struggled. I don't know if it matters right now that Minshew is a guy, because that Philadelphia defense is going to pose a little bit of a different problem than Jacksonville and the Texans did, right? So I think that's going to be kind of where my eyes are going to be in this game, is what that Philadelphia defense looks like against the Dallas Cowboys offense. to me right now, it's the same old Cowboys. I don't think that when a game matters and they're ready for it, even though it's in Dallas, I think Philadelphia is able to put it to them. But it's going to be different. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won, but I'm still picking Philly in this one until Dallas shows me that, hey, this is the game that they want to win, and this is their talent, and this is what they do. They haven't shown me that. They've just kind of showed up when they feel like it's convenient, and when the chips are on the table, like they kind of, whether it's the coaching or the players or whatever it is in Dallas since '95, they just haven't shown it to me. So I got Philly. The Packers and the Dolphins, man, and this game is, I was hoping when I saw the schedule come out that this would have some playoff type of implications. It kind of does, right? Because the Packers are clawing on for dear life, and this is in Miami, where Miami is right now, if they're in the playoffs, should be some offense that's going on, in this game. Aaron Rodgers going against Tua. Drew, what do you like in this game? Because it looks like the Packers, which is surprising to me, are 3.5 points favorites. Like, it seems like Vegas isn't high on the Dolphins right now.
No, I wouldn't be either. They lost their last 3 games. Like, let's be honest. They lost. Okay, they had the Niners, the Chargers, and Buffalo, 3 tough games. But you're supposed to be. We were talking about them as being one of the top teams, and they haven't shown that in a while. All right, so I do have them winning tomorrow or this week against Green Bay, because I just don't I don't think Green Bay is half of what they used to be, but the Dolphins need this. The Dolphins need to start pulling it together if they're going to try and make any kind of run in the playoffs and win a playoff game. So
yeah,
I got the Dolphins in this one.
All right, what do you got, Slick?
I went with Miami as well. I think home field advantage is going to take a big part of this game. Last week, Miami was in Buffalo. That's hard to play for those guys. Like, again, Florida boys, even though a lot of guys on the team aren't Florida boys, but they've been there, so they're used to that weather. Now that you're back in Miami, Packers, they're used to the cold weather. So now I think those guys may have to deal with the humidity. Might have some guys might cramp up or whatever the case may be. Like, it plays a role. It definitely does. That's why I went with Miami.
I went with Miami too. I honestly just think Miami has too much firepower than what Green Bay has. I think Green Bay is they've been trying to find their way offensively all year, whether it's been Aaron Jones. You've seen Christian Watson kind of come on the scene, but they've been plugging and playing, anywhere from Randall Cobb to Alan Lazard to whoever those Dobbs.
Randall Cobb was still in the league.
Yeah, he's with them right now, but he hasn't been. He's kind of been hurt and all that stuff. So I just think offensively, Miami is too potent for them. Now, don't forget, Mike McDaniel was the run game coordinator against the Green Bay Packers in the 2019 NFC Championship game, where Raheem Mostert, who's now on the Dolphins, ran all over the Packers. Yeah. So this has a couple different ways. I just think offensively, Miami is going to be too much, and it's going to knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. And they're going to kind of show and get us excited. Hey, Miami's here. But when it comes to the playoffs and they play a good team, I just don't think they have it quite yet. Playoffs. We got to do it one more time.
Let's hope we can win a game.
Playoffs. Hold on.
You have to have it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
You got to have it queued up, BP.
Playoffs?
Yeah, it was at the end there. Freaking Jim Mora, man. That's going to be up for a while. All right, boys. So those are our picks of the week. It's hot shot.
You gotta make a comeback.
You do, because you want to know why?
Yeah.
Look at this. You gotta. It's 7 games now. 7 games.
Well, I went 10-6, which I think is respectable. You went 11-5. Like, well, what am I gonna do?
I know it's tough. Slick has a couple differences here. Yeah,
we only got one difference this week.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was wondering, because I was going back and forth on Dallas and Philly, and I was like, man, as I was putting these in, I was like, are we going to have the same picks? You got Dallas in there. Slick has got a number of different ones. He's got 4 different from you, Drew. He's got three different from me. So Slick can kind of, he ain't getting back in this thing. Who we kidding?
I don't know. He's only 10 games behind me.
Who we
Takes
kidding,
one
man?
bad week.
There we go. Hot shot.
It's that time of the hot shot of the week. Drew, we got Christmas this week. It's a holiday week, man. And I'm so excited for it. We got playoffs right around the corner. Who you got? Who's your hot shot of the week?
In my end, you hit it, man. It's the holiday season. We got Christmas in a couple days. My hot shot of the week just goes to, and I'm going to take a page out of Proffit's book here. My hot shot of the week goes to Blitz Nation. All right, for always being there, supporting us, and I always wish you guys the best. With the holidays coming up, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and yours. Happy New Year. I'm happy. I'm excited. Obviously, I hope you guys can see how much pride we take in this show, and for however many people listen, whether it's 7 people or whether it's 2,000, 2,500, whatever it might be. I think we try and bring it every week for you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. I appreciate you guys. That's one. Secondly, my parents were up this week. We had a great time with them. My girls were able to spend time with their grandparents, which they don't get to do very much. I was able to spend time with my mom and dad, which I don't get to do very often. So always appreciative of that. But hot shot of the week goes to Blitz Nation, Christmas, family. There's nothing much left to say about it, man. You guys, I love coming on here and doing this every week with you guys. So cheers to you and cheers to all yours, and happy everything to you guys.
Yeah, cheers, man. That's awesome. How about you, Slick? It's hard to overtake that one.
Right?
That was a good one.
Exactly. Like Drew, kind of like what Drew said. My hot shot goes out to just the holidays in general, you guys, of course, and your families. But I want to make like my main hot shot going out to the missus. Just for her patience, her support throughout my whole coaching football and the time consuming and everything. Like, and I'm pretty sure you guys understand where I'm coming from. Just her being there. I understand it may get frustrating sometimes, but it is what it is. She's there. She makes sure she stays there to be supportive, shows up every Friday. Like big hats off to her. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man.
They always said it takes a special person to be a coach's wife, and whether you're a football coach, whether you're a basketball coach, whether you're a women's coach, whether you're a male's coach, it takes a special person to be a significant other of a coach, because the people don't understand the time commitment. You're not just you got, and that's what I've lost relationships I've lost friendships over coaching football because people don't understand. They say, why can't you just skip the game? I'm like, that's not an option. That's not an option.
No.
It's one game. Just skip it. It's not an option. I said, I work all year for 12 weeks a year. I work all year for 12 days. I can't just miss one. And you, if you don't have somebody that understands that, it's not gonna work. I'll just be flat out honest with you. Yeah. If you got somebody who's gonna make you choose coaching or doing something else, it's not gonna work. So it does take a special person.
She's an athlete as well, and she's a head coach,
right?
So
she gets it, and you get it.
Yeah. So that helps too.
What's been cool on Twitter, kind of seeing that journey of hers this year, kind of I see like a tweet from her, like, we got better this week, and that's like the ultimate, like, that's all you can hope for as a coach, is get better every single week.
She has a young team.
Continue to get better.
Young team.
Well, I don't know how I can say it any better, Drew, because Blitz Nation, it's you guys. It's the sport of football. Like, I am so thankful for that. That is my hot shot this week, because I love getting an opportunity to spend time with the family and all that stuff. It's very dear to me, walking down the stairs with my daughter in the morning, watching her open presents, it's getting on here every Wednesday with you guys, like, and honestly getting a chance to talk ball. When we set this up and we were going to do this, like, I think I mentioned it to both of you. This is something that's really special where we played together 10 plus years ago and we still have this connection. It's freaking awesome. So I love it. And of course, everybody that listens to the show, you know, we have people, Matt Christie, who is a good friend of mine, who's a friend of the show. His daughter was recognized from a clip that we played on Hot Shots like 5 weeks ago. She was walking around school and they're like, aren't you that girl that was playing volleyball? It was in the Hot Shots in the Backyard Blitz. I thought he was joking with me. He's like, no, dead serious. People I don't even know.
That's what's
So
up.
it's to you guys taking your time out to tune into us, to make you laugh, listen to football. It's a passion that we have. I can't thank you guys enough. And Blitz Nation, the families, you guys are all my hot shots this week, man.
On that note, when we wrap up here, I would like to go upstairs and say hello to my wife. So
yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
you guys, man. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. And we're back next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, same channel. It'll be our last show in 2023. So make sure that you tune in.
2022.
Oh, 2022, man. I'm already jumping the gun.
Yeah,
I'm already jumping the gun. Last show in 2022 to go in 2023. Can't wait. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.